Brady the GOAT of all sports. Now, I'm not going to be, sanctimonious and sit there and say he's the greatest athlete of all team sports. No, he's not. There are better athletes and better...
It's a different metric.
In some ways, quarterbacks, actually ability that are better than Brady. There are better athletes in every sport than Tom Brady. But in this sport, in this position of being a quarterback and how it's valued and how difficult that position is to play and process, to me, it's getting to 10 Super Bowls is number one. I mean, it's incredible. Look, LeBron's done 10 times. That's great. Bill Russell. Well, Bill Russell won 11 in 12 years. Something. He went to the finals.
Yeah, he went 10 and 11.
10 and 11.
11 and 13.
Right. Magic went 9 times in 12 years, I believe. Okay? But it's not quarterback. And Bill Russell, with all due respect, he was great, obviously. A little different back then when I think there was only 8 to 10 teams in the freaking league.
Well, yes, I mean, you're talking about 2 different eras, and it's hard to compare eras. It's hard enough to compare sports. And you could, saying that he's the greatest athlete, I mean, we've all seen him run his 40. We've all seen, that's a different metric. But if you're talking about, and I'm not sure how you would label it, maybe he's the best, competitor to play team sports, or the best leader, whatever you want to say, because when you have the ability to have the longevity that he's had, and it's not that he hasn't had injury. He has torn his ACL. He has had some injuries along the way, but he has done a phenomenal job of taking care of himself, of developing his skills, his knowledge of the game, his ability to, and you hear it from Bruce Arians, there are, and we have him here, right? Dan Campbell is 1 year older than Tom Brady. There are other coaches across the NFL, Sean McVay, that are younger than Tom Brady. He has been in this game so long and has mastered his craft to a point that he can quarterback as well as coach his team to a certain point. And when you have all of those intangibles over the course of this great career that Tom Brady has had, I don't know that we'll ever in any sport see an individual with all of those, when you talk about the it factor or the intangibles, with all of those intangibles and some good fortune to go along with it, to be as healthy as he's been over the course of his career, to have the ball bounce his way certain times, or have a defense or a player make certain plays. We're never going to see this again. And so Tom Brady, to me, is unquestionably.
Has he had some good luck? He's recently, against New Orleans, he had a short field for the touchdowns, right?
Sure.
And Drew Brees was playing horrible. This past week, the first play, the fumble by Aaron Jones, and those things, yes.
And the opponent's kicking a field goal instead of going for a touchdown.
There's no doubt about it. But there have been some things where he's been on the bad side of luck as well, as I mentioned. 248-539-9797. That's the telephone number. And the text is Tom Brady, the GOAT of all team sports. And he is lucky, as people say he is. Or some folks.
Kansas City opened as a 3-point favorite in a big game over Tampa Bay. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, invites new customers to start 2021 off right with a risk-free first bet up to $500. Just sign up today with bonus code TICKET100 and start enjoying BetMGM's innovative parlay selections, live betting options, daily boosted odds specials, and much more. The football playoffs are upon us. The grand finale is right around the corner. Pro basketball is in full swing. There couldn't be a better time to download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter bonus code TICKET100 to get back up to $500 in free bets on your first wager. Bet with confidence all year long at BetMGM, where you're always just one tap away from your victory dance. Sign up and make your first bet risk-free today with bonus code TICKET100. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, light scattered snow moving through Detroit this morning, causing some slippery road conditions. At this time, a number of crashes, including 96 Jeffries westbound local lanes after Evergreen. That's affecting the right side. Another crash, 96 westbound at Milford Road. Also 696 westbound the ramp to Mount. Heading out towards 696 westbound at Evergreen, there's a crash in the left lane and another accident
are all in one place. You'll find something for every mood and every moment with Audible. Experience bestsellers and new releases, as well as thousands of included titles you can listen to all you want, like select Audible originals, audiobooks, podcasts, including exclusive shows, and sleep tracks for better rest. Let Audible take you on a listening journey with the best in audio entertainment. And your first 30 days are on us when you sign up on audible.com.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank.
Visit GollinRoseville.com and lease or buy your next vehicle online. Only at Gollin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Roseville. During the Start Something New sales event, lease the 2021 Jeep Cherokee Latitude 4x4 just $239 a month for employees, $269 for friends and family. Or lease the 2021 Jeep Cherokee Limited 4x4, $249 a month for employees, $289 a month for friends and family. You search, you request, we deliver to your home or office. Shop GollingRoseville.com. Gollin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Roseville.
While we've been staying safe at home, scientists have been on a journey. The destination? A COVID-19 vaccine. This journey began decades ago with research into other coronaviruses. Scientists built from there with months of research and development, cooperation with other experts worldwide, and clinical trials on tens of thousands of volunteers of diverse race, age, and health status. They arrived at a safe, effective vaccine, and hundreds of thousands in Michigan have already been vaccinated. But the next step is ours. We need to get the vaccine when we can, keep wearing masks correctly, and taking precautions until we reach our destination, freedom from COVID-19, and get back to the lives we love. Discover the facts for yourself at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Looking for snow equipment? Think Outdoor Equipment & Co., where the variety of outdoor power equipment is second to none. Visit OutdoorEquipCo.com. That's OutdoorEquipCo.com. Parents, do you want to save your child's life? 97.1 The Ticket Student Heart Check can help. Make the time to have your child checked. Contact the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Learn more at 971theticket.com. The station where your opinion matters. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Tony and Jensen.
Our telephone number 248-539-9797. We're talking about Tom Brady going to his 10th Super Bowl. See the GOAT of all team sports. And when I say GOAT, look, athletically he's not the GOAT. It's not even close, but it's what he's been able to do at the hardest position in all of team sports, in my opinion. All right, we have some ticket text 248-539-9797. Brady has always been the recipient of being on good teams, including this year. 3 interceptions this past Sunday. Come on, he's a bit overrated. A bit. Look, I'm not talking about how good he is right now. He's obviously not as good as he once was. Nobody's saying that. By the way, yeah, I thought he was horrible in the second half Sunday, but he was great in the first half too. Let's not forget that.
And he did enough to win.
Yes. Brady is 100% the GOAT. With that said, Michigan fans can stop pretending he was a Michigan great. When Tom played in Michigan, no one liked him. He was very good. The entire fan base wanted Henson to start at quarterback. There was a reason he was selected in the 6th round. Knock it off, Michigan fans. That's from Tim and Clarkston. I disagree with that. I think it was a 50-50 split at times. A lot of people thought Brady, deserved to keep the job and didn't like the whole.
He'll always be a Michigan guy.
Yeah.
That argument to me is just, it doesn't make
No, he said
sense.
separate that he was a Michigan great.
Oh, no, I don't know that anybody is saying that he was a Michigan great.
No. Todd in Farmington Hills. Brady is the best game manager and lucky as hell. Not even top 10 quarterback right now. I might agree with that. I don't know if he's a top 10 right now.
All right, well, I don't.
So who would you rather have on your team?
I don't know. I'd rather
have Tom Brady and Josh Allen. I'd rather have Tom Brady right now and Josh Allen.
Yes, I'm talking about, but I think what the texter's talking about is, the athletic ability and all that stuff. The intangibles, he's still the greatest winner. And that's the most important thing in sports.
Let's not forget, because, what we see on Sunday is, Tom Brady goes out there, has a really good first half, and makes some great decisions, gets them into position to go into halftime up, and then comes out in the second half and doesn't play great. But all of the things that have led up to that moment, whether it's in week 1 of training camp, week 15 in practice, it's what he does in practice to get his receivers, his running backs, his linemen ready, but also the way that he practices prepares that defense. That defense was great last year, but it wasn't good enough to get a team over the 7-9 hump. And yes, there are a lot of different reasons. You can say Jameis Winston threw interceptions, all those things, great. But the way that Tom Brady prepares in practice, not just prepares the offense, but it prepares the defense as well, because you're going against Tom Brady. And there is a certain way that he operates that he expects everybody on that field to operate, and it raises the level of everybody there.
Instead of saying best of all time, you should say most accomplished of all time, which he obviously is.
I'd like to be the most accomplished
How about
of all
this?
time.
The most accomplished team sport athlete of all time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd agree with that. Because of the position.
Yeah.
Somebody says Magic Johnson had way more to do with getting his team to the finals than Brady. Brady's only on the field for half of the game. Now, that's a legitimate argument.
It is.
But Magic also had, as a creative worthy too. So you can't take away. You have to factor that in. My dad used to tell me, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You create your own luck.
Yes. Let's go to Todd in Lake Orion. What's up, Todd?
Good morning, guys. Obviously, Tom Brady's in the conversation for everybody, and his name's going to come up. But I think you guys are showing a little age bias. Understand that's kind of how it works in today's world. But to me, if you're going to look at a guy, the ultimate winner or whatever, you got to look at Joe DiMaggio. Played 13 seasons in the major leagues, won 9 World Series, and lost 3 to 4 prime years to World War II. That wouldn't even happen nowadays. These guys would get out, and maybe rightfully so. And I know war is different than it is today. But you want to look at winning percentage, individual MVPs, and again, probably the most unbreakable or maybe the most recognized record in all of sports. It's Joe DiMaggio.
Let me ask you this question though. As great as Joe DiMaggio is, what's harder? Is it harder to do what Brady did in football than it is for DiMaggio to do in baseball? And to me, it's harder to play quarterback. That's the reason.
He played center field for the New York Yankees.
I understand that, but quarterback.
In 1950, there was no position in sports that was the same as playing center field for the New York Yankees.
Back in the 50s, you know how hard it is to play quarterback? Seriously. I mean, look, Joe DiMaggio was
You
great.
got to be a bum to play center field. I mean,
No,
you can't
I'm
have
not
any
saying.
speed, can't have any eye-hand coordination.
No.
You got to be a bum.
No, you're not. You don't have to sit there and you don't have guys rushing at you and trying to, if this play's not open quick, you have to go to this guy. I mean, quarterback is a whole different animal than anything else in sports. That's why they get paid the most. I mean, it's not declining. It's not.
Let's say bullfighters are the hardest jobs.
Oh, no,
You
we're
got an animal that can kill, right? I mean,
bullfighters. Come on, we're talking team sports. Now you can say.
No, but my whole point is they're all very, very hard. We all have opinions. But again, to play center field in the largest center field in baseball at that time, win gold gloves, and be recognized as maybe the greatest fielding second center fielder next to Willie Mays of all time, you want no ball.
Nobody's saying he's a bum. And you know what? I'll give him credit. Marilyn Monroe's better looking than Giselle.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
What do you mean, whoa?
Whoa.
Oh, come on. You're not that much of a Brady suck-up where you would take Giselle over Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, well, I have a hard time talking about a buddy's wife. Yeah, I think Giselle trumps Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, my Lord.
I don't even know that it's close.
Oh.
I don't even know that it's close.
All right, 248. Let's go.
Oh, my.
We do a quick Twitter poll. Who's hotter, Marilyn Monroe or Giselle Brady, Giselle Bundchen, whatever her name is.
Oh yeah, she doesn't use Tom's
I
name.
know.
She doesn't.
She made just like Marilyn Monroe probably made more money than Joe DiMaggio too.
No, I would assume so.
Tom Brady should take her name. He's got a Bunchen on his name tag.
It's that'd be great to get a 12 Bunchen jersey.
That would be awesome. Let's go to Robert and Celine here on 97 on the ticket.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'd like to make a simple point. Look at the record for New England Patriots this year compared to Tampa Bay last year. One player has switched teams. I know we can't boil it down that simple, but
I know.
I mean, Tampa Bay's in the Super Bowl, guys.
Yeah.
You know, that's for me. That's one vote for him being the greatest. I mean, there's things that can be debatable, sure, but man, I got to vote for him, man. I'm pulling for him. So, have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Robert. It's like our previous caller, it was Todd, right? I mean, look, center field is a big position, but it's not quarterback, and nobody said Joe DiMaggio's a bum. Vern in Detroit, what's up?
Are we seriously talking about Joe DiMaggio? I mean,
No.
Joe DiMaggio. I'm just amazed at the length that people go to disparage the GOAT. I mean, to me, I don't believe that there's no harder sport, maybe hockey, to repeat and get to a Super Bowl multiple times, let alone 10 times. Super Bowl, the football is the hardest sport to me to return to championship form. And at the helm, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. has been to the Super Bowl 10 times and won 6. There is no other in the stratosphere with Tom Brady, except for maybe Jordan, Serena, you can throw Tiger in there. But as football goes, the conversation is over. The only debate to be had is about people who just simply hate greatness. I mean, he married one of the top 3 greatest beautiful women in the world. He's won 6 Super Bowls. What else does he have to do for people to just plain hate? And especially, it amazes me how people hate on him here in Michigan. Like, what else do you need to witness for this man and all his records to not be considered the undisputed GOAT? It baffles my mind.
Most of the people that rip on him also like Michigan State.
A lot of them do, you're right.
Well, that's a fault of their own. But
Real quick though, Vern. Giselle and Marilyn Monroe.
oh, Giselle, hands down, I think Marilyn Monroe is a bit overrated. Like Marilyn Monroe, you can find a chick down the river with a little bit of makeup that looks just as good as Marilyn Monroe.
All right, thank you, Vern. Appreciate it. 248-539-9797. We'll take more of your calls and texts. Monroe or Bunchen? Here's Tony.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
After being sidelined for most of the last 2 weeks, Michigan State was able to return to the court yesterday for the first team practice since January 13th. The Spartans are scheduled to head to Rutgers to face the Scarlet Knights Thursday night. That will be the first game for Michigan State in 20 days. On the court, the Pistons ended a 3-game Little Caesars Arena homestand with a convincing 119-104 win over the Philadelphia 76ers last night. Next up for Detroit, they'll take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. That game tomorrow night in Cleveland. The Lions would add 2 more assistant coaches to new head coach Dan Campbell's coaching staff yesterday. The 2 are former Rams assistant Aubrey Pleasant. He'll serve as the Lions defensive backs coach, and former Eagles assistant Deuce Staley, who will be both the Lions assistant head coach and running backs coach. Meanwhile, on an interview with ESPN's Mike Greenberg, Tom Brady Sr. admitted he and his wife contracted COVID-19 back in September.
When the season started, we've never missed a game at Michigan or New England or wherever. And at the end of and for the first 2 games, when I was in the hospital, I didn't even care if they were playing, much less missing the game. It was a matter of life and death.
Brady says he and his wife will be at Super Bowl 55 next week in Tampa, but they plan to be extra cautious while there, especially around the Buccaneers quarterback. According to the MLB Network's John Heyman, the Major League Baseball Players Union has rejected a couple of league proposals that would have called for the use of a universal DH this season and for an expanded playoff field. That projection, the latest salvo in what's shaping up to be a very bitter battle between the two sides, especially with the current collective bargaining agreement set to expire in Major League Baseball on December 1st. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Thank you, T.O. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. Maybe the reason I like Marilyn Monroe better is because she's kind of like more dirty hot. I don't know. I just think she's one of the, and I'm not a huge blonde person either. You know, I just think Marilyn Monroe is just.
I agree with you, Stoney. I think there's a, I don't know. We don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what I'm going to say.
Yeah,
so.
okay, good. I pretty much know what you're going to say.
A little chiseled.
Yeah, exactly. Lorenzo in Detroit, you're a 97 on The Ticket.
Look, here it is. Jensen, you love to do the reach around on Tom Brady. I'm not mad at you. Tom is the GOAT. However, I need you to understand one thing. He didn't do it by himself. You've been saying team sport. Talk about the receivers that complete the pass. Talk about the running back that makes it up the middle once he gets the hands off. Stop acting like Tom Brady is God Almighty. He threw 3 picks last week. How about that?
Okay, who's better?
He's
better?
No, you agree. Lorenzo, you agreed he's the GOAT.
I'm agreeing that he's the GOAT now because he's done what Joe Montana has not done. He's gotten to the Super Bowl with a different team. Joe Montana's 4-0, okay, in the big game. But if he wins the Super Bowl Brady, this one, then I'm going to tip my hat. He will be the GOAT. But stop acting like he's doing it by himself, like he's playing defense too. Stop.
Oh,
Please
so
stop.
Montana